You're listening to another episode of Mad Men Sports, sponsored by Black Button Distilling. To my left, probably your guys' right, we have Zach and Diamond Dave. Super Bowl is over. We're looking forward to 2020. We got the draft, got mini camp, training camp. We got everything coming up.
Got a lot going on.
But now I think
now the fun
this
begins.
is a general consensus. We're kind of bummed out that football is over. What do you think about that, guys?
It's been like 25 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Jake wants to get in the XFL. Make it an XFL mini podcast.
Yeah, why not?
We can do a segment a day. Or
See if it lasts longer than a week. The XFL itself.
They have enough money. Why wouldn't they?
All right, this is a Buffalo Bills podcast. Yeah, no, we're actually deleting all of our stuff. We're going XFL 100%.
Kind of the doldrums of the year.
Joking.
So, decent game. I don't know. I was gonna call it a great game. I was gonna call it a good game.
I think it was exciting. It was
game.
Old school football.
Defense. The 49ers defense played really well.
Yeah.
I hate Bosa.
Defense wins championships, but not tonight.
Hate Bosa. I'm glad he was crying on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Definitely don't like that guy.
Wow. That's tough. That's a tough scene.
Guys, I had a good time. The food was great.
That was loud.
Everyone did a great job with the food. We're not going to talk about our spread unless you guys want to. And the Super Bowl commercials were great. What was your favorite commercial, Jake?
My favorite
we all have the
commercial
same favorite
was
one.
the Amazon one.
Yeah, the Amazon
General
one.
That was good.
consensus there.
I like the Boston accent one down by the harbor.
The Martin Scorsese one was a little weird.
Yeah.
The Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
The Coke
Yeah.
energy drink.
It's weird that Scorsese would do a Pepsi commercial.
Coke.
Whatever.
But it's even weirder that he did a Coke one.
Patrick Mahomes, the youngest Super Bowl MVP at the age of 24.
Did he deserve it, you think? What do you guys think?
I think you look at the other candidate in Damian
Williams had 17
I-
carries for 104 yards, touchdown.
which isn't that great for a Super Bowl MVP type player. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
2 interceptions.
I mean, who
I think
else
that
would
brings
it
it
have
down.
been?
Yeah, Damian Williams was my pick.
Yeah, I would have picked Williams.
Sammy Watkins.
Played a good game. No one expected him. Watkins had a good game. Tyreek Hill actually had a quietly good game.
Yeah, he had 9 catches or something?
9 catches, 105 yards.
If the Niners won, I would think Garoppolo was a hands down.
No, Debo Samuel.
Debo Samuel is a very good player.
Good first quarter.
Very good player. Rookie. That shows you that you can get a rookie and he won't have to wait. You can have him in the lineup. Start moving him.
I was personally happy for Andy Reid. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think when it comes to coaches around the league, widely respected.
2-2.
Yeah, what? What about it?
222nd NFL win.
Yeah, on the 2nd of
Well, fun
February in
fact by Jake.
2020. Who would have thought? It's pretty wild.
What do you guys think? Does he retire?
No, not at all. He's just getting warmed up. Just getting warmed up. You get one Super Bowl, you're going to retire when you have a quarterback that's on his 3rd year, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, NFL champion.
My surprise is he does retire.
I don't think that happens.
How about this one? You know, we're a Bills podcast. Let's bring it in a little bit. LaShawn McCoy did not dress all playoffs. Gets a Super Bowl ring. He's on his Instagram. He's overly happy. I wouldn't be.
Well, sure.
Whatever. I feel like not my place to judge. Only, he's always going to be in the book as a Super Bowl champ. But it's kind of a cheap one, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been slowing down for a couple years, and that had just continued this year as well. He hasn't had the season that people have expected from him. People were excited that LaShawn McCoy was going to Kansas City.
How could you not?
I mean, he had only 465 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, I guess, below average, not even 500 yards.
Imagine how tough that talk had to be before the game that you're going to be inactive. You worked your whole career. It's the 2nd Super Bowl. Worked his whole career to get in there. He went with the Eagles, I'm pretty sure.
Nope.
No.
Then I'm a jackass.
You're not.
Zach's always correcting people.
Oh, geez.
But this time he's not wrong.
I just don't like fake news, that's all.
Man.
You're a big fake
Some
news guy. It's
tension
all right.
in the
Speaking of fake news, do you think Watkins hangs it up and sits out next year?
Yeah, he had a lot going on there for Media Week, Jake.
I don't think that there were talks of him retiring. I think that he's holding out. I think there's a lot of money against him on the cap.
$14 million. If the Chiefs save $14 million if you cut him.
This guy's gotten he's gotten big contracts. He's never lived up to his hype. He had the game this year, week 1, where he tore it up. He's been quiet. He's had a good playoff run.
AFC Championship game, he tore it up.
He had a good playoff run, but this guy's not worth top receiver money.
I mean, the only 1,000-yard season he's had was with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you look at his stats, there's definitely a steep drop-off from Buffalo, then to LA, and then to the Chiefs. I mean, he has these flashes in specific games, but he's not kind of bringing it all together to have a complete season.
Yeah, his best season was probably with Kyle Orton.
1,000%.
Kyle Orton.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he had,
what a blimp on the radar that he was the Bills quarterback. Probably the best Bills quarterback of the drought, honestly, when it comes down to being like a natural quarterback. Him and Drew Bledsoe have got to be like neck and neck for that one. I know Fitzpatrick's in that mix because he had a little bit longer of a longevity, but Kyle Orton almost got this team to the playoffs. You know, he came in week 4 and started after E.J. Manuel went 2-2 in the beginning of the season, and the team did not look back. Really surprised Hackett and Marrone went with Kyle Orton, but I think Kyle Orton went off to the sunset. Is what it is. Sammy Watkins never rebounded in a proper way. He was always hurt. Tough guy. Really tough guy to figure out, too. You know, he's got those Lizard King tweets out there. Jake loves those.
Oh, my God. He's not a flat earther, though, is he?
I have no idea what he is. He's not very healthy.
Watkins is doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a couple years ago,
Pretty
though.
crazy guy.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's on a 3-year, $48 million contract. That's crazy.
He's got paid big money.
Yeah.
Good work if you can get it, you know.
You guys want to talk about the awards show yesterday that everyone's hyping about?
Yeah, let's talk about it. How about Tre White only getting 1 vote? And Stephon Gilmore getting, 27? That's
I think it was
crazy.
21.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys expect Tre White to win the award?
No, but I'll give you my downright honesty here. I thought if it was going to go to a cornerback, it should have been Tre White. And that's being just completely honest there. He had a better season than Gilmore. I don't care how you cut it any way or another. He had more takeaways, less touchdowns against. I mean, the stat that you have 0 touchdowns against you is a good enough stat to put you in any defensive player. That means you're literally unable to be cracked. I don't understand that. How could you be any better than that? You couldn't expect more from the guy. He led the league in interceptions and then had 0 touchdowns against him.
I mean, he was you look at his resume this year against the receivers he was with. He shut them down, and I would bet he shut them down better than Gilmore did because they pretty much played the same teams, probably besides 2 different teams. I'm not surprised White didn't get it. I'm not shocked at all. I'm surprised he got 1 vote. I thought he'd be neck and neck with Gilmore. It seems kind of disrespectful. I'm sure he'll be up for it again next year, hopefully, but I'm not surprised Gilmore got it. I'm surprised he got 1 vote.
Yeah, and Sean McDermott finished in 4th place for the NFL Coach of the Year award. John
2
Harbaugh
votes, yeah.
did get that accolade. So, I mean, when you have one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in the league, I mean, it's tough not to get all the accolades, right? But
You know what's crazy? You know, Lamar Jackson got all the hype. The team was the first seed in the AFC, all that and the other thing. They started the season 2-2. Their record at the end of the year was 14-2. They went on a 12-game winning streak, and I don't feel like any of us talked about the fact that they were on a 12-game winning streak. That's nuts.
that is pretty crazy.
The fact that the Bills were neck and neck with them, too, the game they played with them.
Those are games that next season I need the Bills to win. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm not trying to be overly confident. You need to win those games where you're a touchdown away. Win those.
Exactly. That's 3.
That's the maturation process of this team. It's year 3 next year of the process taking full force.
Yeah, and again, I'm not surprised McDermott didn't win the award. I don't think he necessarily deserved the award, but getting recognition enough is probably good enough for him because he did have a hell of a year, but there was a lot of good coaches this year. 2 of them played in the game today. Coached in the game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You didn't lose to a bad coach. Like, you know, he's definitely the best Sean in the league. Sean Payton only got 1 vote.
True. And going back to your point about winning those games with less than a touchdown, I mean, obviously 2020 is hindsight, but we'd be 14-2 if we had won every game that we had lost by a touchdown.
It's good enough to get you the first seed in the AFC, baby.
It's depressing.
Indeed. But what are you going to do? I mean, that's football.
They
Can't
won
win them
close
all.
games and they lost close games. Next year, win all your close games.
And then boom. I mean, especially with next year's tough schedule.
It's going to be a tough year.
That
It's-
is going to be something.
You face the Super Bowl champs and you face the Super Bowl losers all in one season.
As tough as
Sure.
it is, it's still the same adage as it always is. Just win the AFC East, and everything else works itself out. The division winner always gets in the playoffs. So win those important games.
I won't correct you on that. That's definitely factual.
So it should be, and I'm speculating on this, but it should be an exciting week. The next couple weeks coming up, because I think the re-signing of players is going to begin. A lot of other things. Players are probably going to get released. I think some things are going to happen this week, so it's going to be exciting times now. We're full force 2020.
Like Vernon Davis. That
Retired.
happened.
Yeah.
You know what? His cousin Vontae retired in the middle of a half.
At least he waited, yeah.
Are they related?
Yeah,
Is that-
cousins.
Screw him.
Vernon
Screw
Davis is
them
good
both.
for a while.
Oh, he was dominant.
A fellow Frank Gore. He outlived Frank Gore.
Wow.
Who'd have thunk?
Maybe Frank Gore comes back to the Bills.
Or actually,
We'll
Frank
see.
Gore outlived him. Excuse my verbiage.
I'm predicting a lot of exciting things are going to happen this week. I think the Bills,
This week, huh?
Bills are going to get right to it, yeah.
Okay, Dave, tell me what's your big move this week. Give it to me. You can't come up with those.
Let's do
statements
a
like
one
that.
prediction. First move of the year. I would say
There you go.
we talked about this earlier
Get it.
in the week. I think some
Let
of the
loose.
coaches, like McDermott and maybe Dable, I think they get extension contracts.
Fired,
I think
huh?
that the Pagulas reward them with some contract extensions, and I think that's a huge deal, and it's awesome to have some security at the coaching position.
Well, you heard it here first. Diamond Dave's surprise of the week is the coaches get fired. I heard it.
I
You
think
guys
it's
heard
the
it.
first them getting extensions. I think that's the first move of the offseason. I think that's top priority. What do you guys think? What's your pick? What's your sleeper pick?
Jacob
So
Taylor.
obviously this is on the spot, and I don't expect this to happen at all,
Jazzy Jake.
unfortunately.
It could.
But we have a former player coming to coach with us, whether it's going to be Greg Olson. I know he wants to play, but if that doesn't happen,
He'll play.
come here, or Lorenzo Alexander
Hmm.
on the coaching staff.
All right. So I was able to go last to be able to compile my thoughts. Jake went really fast, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say my surprise of this week is I got nothing. I don't like. Does it have to be this week, or is it the first
I
move
think
of the
something's
offseason?
going to happen this week. I'm feeling it.
They're actually going to opt out of their lease.
Yeah, they're gonna say psych.
Whole team moves.
God.
Hey, we know
Gotcha.
that the Sabres suck. We just wanted to say that we were keeping them just so we get people off us for the Sabres for a couple hours. I guess if there was gonna be a big move, Trent Murphy restructures his contract. I
Or
guess that would be my move.
The Bills get hacked again.
Yeah, they get hacked.
I could see the Trent Murphy thing happening. I think it's kind
Thanks,
of a
buddy.
necessary thing that needs to happen, but I don't know if
I mean,
it's
if-
going to be the top priority.
Okay, how about this? We'll play a quick game. Listeners, give me in the comment section here. Trent Murphy, Star Lotulelei, who's most likely to restructure their contract? Or who's, like, give me one.
I would love to answer this first.
Most likely to restructure their contract or just get cut? I know the answer for the cut thing. It's probably not Star Lotulelei, but go ahead, guys. Dave.
I will drive to the stadium and hold the door open for Star as he's cut. Restructured.
He'd punch you in the
Trent
face.
Murphy. I would
He'd
like Trent
murder
Murphy.
you.
I think Trent Murphy is a future starter again for next year. I would like to keep Trent Murphy. I think he had a very strong end of the year.
Word.
Star Lotulelei.
Word.
Thank you.
Word.
Thank
now
you,
my
next.
now my question. Back to the question. Who's most likely to restructure their contract out of the two?
I said Trent Murphy.
Trent Murphy's most likely to restructure. Okay, Jacob.
More likely might be different than what I would be the ideal scenario for me. I think the ideal scenario is Star restructures his contract. I mean, he's come up in big moments. I mean, he's never really muffed on a play. He's got a lot against the cap. I know we have that out in the next year or two, but I'd really like to see Star stay with Buffalo. Trent Murphy, I think we can get better at that position. I mean, don't get me wrong, we can get better at the defensive tackle position, but I'd rather see that big money kind of get a little smaller so we can bring in some guys.
What do you think, Zach?
I think it's most likely that Star restructures his contract, and I say that because there is a working relationship with Bean and McDermott, and I think they can find common ground that they say, listen, obviously you're not performing up to your contract. We're looking for, and that's the problem in this whole conversation is Bean can't go to Star and say, hey, we're looking for cap room. You're not. You have $89 million
Yeah.
in
You
cap
have
room.
more than enough.
So it's almost like taking money for no reason in that point of emphasis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're going to a guy and say, hey, man, I don't want to give you that anymore.
Can I take back?
Yeah.
He can't, but he can say there's a lot of young talent at that position. So, want to help us out and take a pay cut? We're going to expect less out of you.
But also, the more I think about this, I just don't think that they would even bother because they're not looking for money. Like maybe next year, if they get up to the cap with, having to pay Trey, maybe they got listen, like I said, another day, another conversation, but maybe Poyer doesn't need to stick around as much as everyone thinks he might. But I don't think they can go to a guy with $89 million in cap space and say, hey, can we have some of that back? I don't think that's fair to the locker room. I don't think that's fair to a star. And, I think we're being greedy as fans and, talking heads, talking bitmojis, whatever you want to call us.
Whoa.
That I don't think it's fair to say, hey, can we have some of that money back? They paid him. The Bills offered him that money. And if they have $90 million sitting around, they can't be like, you know what, we want more. That just seems greedy.
Well, here's
Unless
another.
they need it. And
Here's
they don't.
another off-the-cup question that Jake kind of brought up, but I'm gonna keep going with it. Jake, percentage that the Bills bring in Greg Olsen. Sorry, just before,
Go ahead.
I see it as very possible.
I don't think it's possible at all, based on this specific event happening. Russell Wilson and Greg Olsen posted a picture at the awards ceremony, and said,
Wasn't aware of that.
Greg Olsen said, "I would love to come here," or something to that effect.
Oh, we probably just meant the award ceremony. He never gets invited.
No, they were at the awards ceremony. Or I would love.
He was probably
love to come
outside the
play.
door, though. He's probably like, oh, I'd love to get in there. Russell, please hook me up. I'm teamless right now.
So you're thinking Seattle?
I'm thinking Seattle.
Well, that takes away my dream because I
dream.
didn't know that.
I don't think we really necessarily need him.
Oh shit!
I see him as the player that he is. He's a really good player, had a wonderful career, but there's a reason to why the Panthers mutually decided to part ways, and I don't.
I think a lot of that comes from. Excuse me. Go ahead.
No, that's all
I
right.
think a lot of that comes from Olsen just not wanting to sit around for a rebuild or whatever may be in store for that team. You know what I'm saying, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, how old is Greg Olsen? Do you know? Or
I
Olsen?
think he's 34. If I just could throw it out there, he might be 36.
Yeah, just as a quick
he was with
little
the Bears for years.
Panthers off
He's
the
34.
topic thing.
Yeah.
Kuechly
little
retired. They're not sure what they're doing at quarterback. They want to get a veteran, overpaid veteran at this point. I think that's just a team that's going to start rebuilding. We'd be worried where Cam Newton goes, actually. I don't want to say the team name, but I'd be worried where Cam Newton goes. I just think it's a team that's on the rebuild.
The Raiders.
No, Tom Brady needs to go to the Raiders.
I was going to say
Yeah,
Patriots.
what do you guys think about that report? There's a lot of Bills. There's a lot of news going around revolving the Bills. You guys were probably like, why aren't they talking more about the Super Bowl? Everyone's talking about the Super Bowl. We're here to talk about the Bills. We want to, give you Bills talk.
So you're asking about Brady?
Yeah, there's a report saying that the Raiders want to pay him top dollar.
See, I see it differently as everyone else. I talk to a lot of people, and
A lot of people.
Excuse us.
some people say he's going to go back to the Patriots. I think, and I'm just an average Joe or Diamond Dave, I think that
Average Joe and Diamond Dave are polar opposites.
I don't see any way he goes back to the Patriots. Patriots don't have the money the way Brady is right now. We talked about this during the game. He's a type of talent that at his age, who can't scramble, can't run much, is just kind of a statue back there, a great mind statue. Needs talent around him. Patriots don't have that kind of money. I know players like to flock to New England because they win, but I think that's kind of over with Brady as a Patriot quarterback because they don't have the talent to bring people in. I think he wants to try to win without Belichick, and I don't know where he goes. I'm not that smart of a man. Maybe Chicago.
Raiders.
Maybe the Chargers. The Raiders, in my opinion, invested a lot of time in Carr. I don't know if it's time to give that up. I don't know if Brady still has it, and I know we constantly say that, but I just don't know if he does.
He was worse than Ryan Tannehill this year. Statistically.
There will be a team that extremely overpays for him. I mean, he has a resume that
You're saying the Patriots
pays
are going
for
to
itself.
overpay for him.
I'm saying the Patriots and him are going their separate ways. I know people say Robert Kraft isn't going to let him go, but I think this one might be out of Robert
I
Kraft's
think
hands.
just
So-
Isaac says that.
Adam Schefter 12 hours ago. Raiders are poised to pursue quarterback Tom Brady if he doesn't resign with the Patriots before free agency begins.
Do you do that, though, with the time and with Carr? It's a good young team with Weller there and the running back they just have who's escaping me.
Josh Jacobs.
They just do you do that?
Listen,
do you just wash your hands?
If you're
of
Tom
Carr?
Brady, the
Yeah.
Raiders sound a lot more attractive if you still had Amari Cooper. John Gruden really if that's what the route John Gruden wanted to go, he really made a huge hole because having Khalil Mack, having Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Listen, the Khalil Mack trade got you Josh Jacobs, but you could have had someone like Josh Jacobs. They still had a first-round pick for crying out loud. Like, I think that if you wanted to be an attractive team for a guy like that to come in and to just take over right off in the sunset, a la Peyton Manning with the Broncos, you tore your team down in the wrong direction in order to just build a guy up. He was already 42, right? Tom Brady's 42. Am I wrong, right? I don't care. I don't care anymore. He's never going to die, so age is not a problem for Tom Brady. But, I mean, that's not a thing. I could see Chargers. They just gave Anthony Lynn an extension.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I mean, the Raiders do have 2 first-round picks and 3 thirds. So
yeah, I mean they can
Does he want
do
to
quite a
rebuild
bit
with those guys?
I think that they have the talent to big. But I guess my question is, I know that he's probably better than Carr, but you just give up on Carr?
I don't think you need to give up on Carr. You give Brady a 1-year deal. Carr's back in the driver's seat. And maybe they're not comfortable with Carr. Yeah, they put a lot of time in.
Gruden has kind of said he's not a big fan of Carr.
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, I would give him a Raiders jersey now, and it's in Vegas, so they need to sell tickets.
You keep saying that to me, and like now you just said it now. I don't think you have to sell tickets in Vegas. Vegas is going to sell tickets no matter what, you know?
It's still Vegas. It's where the lights are. It's where you want to be seen.
Yeah, but
it's what people want to talk about.
You're not going to need to sell tickets there. Listen, right now, maybe 1 or 2. I don't know what's going on there. I think 2. Your number 2 wide receiver in the Oakland Raiders is Zay Jones. Do you think Tom Brady wants to go there right now?
Well,
I beg to differ.
As Jake said, they have several first-round picks, and Brady going there alone brings free agents there. People want to go play for him.
But Amari Cooper isn't leaving. AJ Green's probably not leaving.
Amari Cooper's not going back to the Raiders. But the other thing is, like
you're not going to get the top guys.
And that's what I was saying. The Chargers are the perfect destination.
Absolutely.
It's in L.A. They got to get people interested in the team. They have a lot of weapons, and they have a decent defense. And like Zach said, they have Anthony Lynn, who just extended. They need a quarterback. I think it's a no-brainer for him to go to L.A.
I think the hardest part about being a no-brainer for L.A. or Oakland, I think the hardest part of the AFC West is the fact that the youngest quarterback in the AFC West just won a Super Bowl. Like, listen, if you're Tom Brady and you have, mono Sam Darnold, underachieving Josh Allen, and quarterback carousel Miami, are you going to give that up right now if you want to win another Super Bowl? Like, if you want to get paid, Tom Brady doesn't need money. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, oh, he just wants to get paid. No, he doesn't care about money. He's Tom Brady. He's Nike. Yeah. His wife's dripping in money. Like, Tom Brady is money. He has money. He's affluent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not chasing money. He's not chasing dollar bills. If he wants to win another championship, this is a Bills podcast. I'm being honest with everyone in the room and you guys. Like, the easiest route to a Super Bowl is going against the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins 6 times a year.
And this is an interesting thing as well in terms of Brady going to the Raiders. The Raiders would clear $16.5 million in cap space and only absorb a $5 million cap hit. Obviously, you still have to pay Brady, but that kind of makes it a little easier for you.
Are the Raiders up against it on the cap? I think they're probably close. I know you can't think of it now, and I'm kind of put you on the spot by that one. This conversation's gone way out for there.
So what are you predicting that he goes back to New England?
I just don't know why he'd bother leaving. Listen, I don't know anything from anything. I think maybe the best destination that we even brought up is to play with the guy. They just went to the AFC Championship game. Tennessee might be the perfect spot for Tom Brady.
$54 million.
You got Derrick Henry there.
Well, they don't know if they have Derrick Henry though, because they have to pay him.
You pay him and Tom Brady. Who else do you need to pay in that situation? You know what I'm saying? Let's think about what's on that team. What's in that secondary? The Tennessee Titans are a haven for former Patriots that are just looking to get back in the game. Logan Ryan's there. Mike Vrabel's running the show there. Tom Brady could go there and have they have the A.J. Brown, right? Mm-hmm. That's who's there. Or is it A.J. Brown?
Yeah, the rookie.
A.J. Brown, they have Corey Davis. They have Derrick Henry, as I mentioned. Deion Lewis is still there. They have a great offensive line. He's not getting touched. And who's he going against? The Jacksonville Jaguars, the shaky Houston Texans, and then, the Colts, who don't have it figured out still. I think that if you want to get away from maybe Sam Darnold growing, Josh Allen we know is growing, if you want to find an easier route to the Super Bowl, it might be the AFC South at that point. Plus, you play in Tennessee, you play in a dome in Indianapolis, you play in a dome in Houston, and then you play in Jacksonville. That seems a lot easier than Buffalo, New England, and New York.
Yeah, if Jake had a gun to my head, I would say the Chargers.
If Jake had a gun to my head, I'd be really scared. But also, I'd probably pick the Tennessee Titans because I think that's just the perfect scenario for him. He knows the coach. He knows the offense is working. Even if he's a shell of himself, he can just hand it off to... He can be a better version than what Ryan Tannehill was this year.
Jake, where's he going?
He's going to the Raiders.
The Raiders. Chargers, Raiders, Tennessee. He's going to stay
Let
in
us
New
know what
England.
you guys think. So 1 week, we'll let you talk about Brady on the comments. So let us know what you think.
Except for when we play against him.
Give us Robbie Anderson.
Is that your one-off season
the
one?
Bills?
We can do that.
No.
Is that your one-off season
No,
one?
keep
No.
Robbie Anderson.
No,
What? No.
you just want him.
Keep Robbie Anderson.
Better than AJ Green. I'd rather have Robbie Anderson than
I'd
AJ
rather
Green.
just draft my wide receivers at this point. We got 2 out of free agency. Let them grow. Let it get a rookie wide receiver to grow. We're going to talk about that in a couple weeks.
I just hope we don't get someone like Nelson Aguilar.
I don't even care. Nelson Aguilar is a third.
I
wide
admittedly
receiver.
don't know all the free agent receivers right now.
Listen,
That's not
I'll tell you
great.
what. Those 2 guys are not at the top of the Bills list.
No, they're not.
Listen, guys, we have merch. Jake's going to drop the link on merch.
Boom.
It's going to be fun. Buy it, wear it, show us, be our Instagram models, be our Facebook models, be our Twitter models. Show it off, just make us smile. We try to keep it cheap. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Check us out. Interact with us throughout the week because we're bored and we sit at our desks all day and we're like, well, I wish someone would talk to us.
No, we don't think that. Shut up. I do my job.
Yes, Jake does a great job at his job too.
I work too hard, I'll say.
Chill out.
You guys want to talk to me on Twitter? Find us on Twitter and talk to us.
I don't have Twitter.
Like and subscribe. Comment about us. Dave's got a beanie on. Biggie Smalls, and I got a Bills hoodie on for the Super Bowl.
Biggie. Go.
So have a great day. Take care and enjoy.